Welcome, a very warm welcome, all of you to DC Heroes United. Wherever you are across the world, you are in the right place for our community stream focusing on the game Lex's Every Hero project, because our first story arc has concluded and, it's still in the oven, so to speak. But I will be your host and presenter, Eduardo, accompanying you during this community stream. And what we're going to do, as we always do, we're going to talk about what's in store for today's show. That's going to be on screen right here. It's like magic to work with great people. So first, we got our featured character for the week, which will be Lex. In many ways, we're going to talk, obviously, strategy, fan favorite. That's not just because Lex has kind of the gameplay that a lot of you have liked with the energy blades, but also I know a lot of you have liked his appearance in the story, and kind of our take on Lex has resonated with a lot of you. So it stands to reason that he's become quite a fan favorite with a lot of you in the audience, and we want to give you all the tools so that you can keep playing Lex as the maps get more and more complicated and difficult. Speaking of difficult maps, Burnside Bridge. Back when we were starting, that was like the last map, and really difficult one, the gold challenge for it especially. But with our tips and tricks, you're going to be able to do that really nice and easy. I know because you'll see it in the videos. We have to make those, of course, and I give the strategies to. Obviously, I'm not alone in making this show. There's a whole team behind me. So I give the assignment to do those, and you'll see they ended up nice, perfect, and easy for you at home to replicate if you've been having trouble with Burnside Bridge's Gold Challenge. And then, of course, we're going to look at game updates as we usually do. But first, start us off a recap of what DC Heroes United is all about, because it's all about, as always, you. Because you collectively determine how Superman, Wonder Woman, and I was going to say Lex, but Batman work together and how they will handle the challenges they face throughout our story, leading up to the very formation of the Justice League. And it is the story of these heroes told on you, empowered by you. Look, first story arc has concluded, but what you do in the game in Lex's Every Hero project very much influences our story. So you need to be aware of the game and of what's going on to make sure that you can survive your runs, get more maps, get up to speed. And of course, it's always wonderful being with all of you across the world. So share the love with the people, your next door digital neighbors, so to say. But we're going to focus on Lex, right? Time to do that deep dive into strategies for superhero Lex. And you can see here Lex in action, right? You start off with energy blades, which is kind of the typical, which is kind of Lex's primary active ability. And as you're going, right, you can kind of see Lex evolving, like getting those energy blades up, gets to knock back enemies. And then as you go through the maps, gets a little stronger as it usually does. But here's the thing. Lex, for many of you, and here you can see the flamethrower, but for many of you, Lex is one of the earliest heroes you can get. It's actually, one of the achievements that we had was to give you the hero charts to unlock him. Now, he has stayed popular. We've actually noticed that a lot of you like playing with Lex. After you've had him, you keep going with him. So we want to give you the best strategies available with Lex so that you can keep using him. Now, Lex, all-rounded character. The only slight drawback is only his attack's a little lower than his peer, just a little bit. But he starts with level 2 energy blades, right? And that's one of the best active abilities in the game, one that's really popular in a lot of the builds I've been talking to you about. So having that from the start sets it on well, regardless of what map you're in. And Lex's specialty is to knock back enemies, push them back. So the idea there is mostly to give Lex breathing room, right? If the enemies submerge Lex, they get pushed back, the energy blades get to deal more damage. Helps to not be submerged too quickly. And it's a unique defensive ability because you still need to take that damage, but it allows him to deal more damage to enemies attacking him in the process. Now, very importantly, you want to get Lex to level 30. Very worthwhile. And honestly, if you were just starting out and you're listening to this, he's a fantastic beginner superhero because he gets the best threshold gains very early on. At level 30, the energy blades are faster. They have wider range. And that's going to help you regardless of whether you play with Lex, right, as you can see here, or you decide to play with another superhero. Strongly recommend you get Lex level 30. It's a really good first goal. Now, passive abilities. Shield complements energy blades well. It might not seem like it, right? But it's an additional defensive boost because Lex's main weakness are projectiles. So having shield, make sure that you can deal with projectiles, right? You're trying to run away from the projectiles, and then shield pops up. You get to kind of fight into those enemies that are with the projectiles and get in there with the energy blades and dispatch them while the shield is up. Now, but that can be hard, right? Lex's speed's a bit low. So something like wing boots can be really helpful. That especially complements in maps where enemies are chasing Lex. If Lex is not too fast enough, wing boots can help you kind of outrun them. So that's really that combination, right? It's like trying to dodge and weave, so to speak, with the energy blades. And what you do want, energy blade shield really are best when they stay up as much as possible. So battery complements well because they decrease cooldown. So now the question is, what do we pair with this, right? We talked about shield, we talked about wing boost, we talked about battery. So we want active abilities that go with these, right? Something like Canary Cry does knockback at level 2. That can be really nice to pair with the energy blades to kind of have this knockback feeling character. An Attractor is an ability you'll want, A, because it allows energy blades to evolve, and B, Lex, as time goes on, will start dealing with enemies that are for field, and collecting that experience point is going to be really important as you try to level up and improve energy blades, since every level up with energy blades is actually really good. Now, Lex, extremely versatile superhero, right? Energy blades, many builds. So the question is, how do you prefer playing? There's actually not a best build. Some of the other characters that we've explored and that we will explore, there is a build I can recommend to you and that I believe is better than other options. In this case, it really depends how you like to play. You could have a tank Lex. You could be, I really like to get in there. I want to make sure I'm solid. So then you'll have Heat Vision, Lasso of Truth, because they complement health boost and regenerate so well, right? You can even complement that with armor and batarangs. So that way you get to essentially Lex's ability with the Trinity's abilities, right? That combo helps you be a little more close range, but deal a ton of damage while kind of withstanding damage itself, being good in close range combat. Now, you could prefer, I'd rather attack from afar, right? Ranged Lex, what it does, it aims to use the knockback ability, and the blades are more a shield, right? If an enemy gets too close, I have something. So in that case, you want to weaken enemies from afar. Beetle Drone, Batarangs, Boulder, alongside their pass abilities, Tractor, especially Lorebook, right? With Attractor is a really nice combo. You get a ton of XP. But there's a build I want to recommend for Lex today, which I call the Circles build, because it leads to kind of this nice dynamic and careful gameplay approach that I think a lot of you will enjoy. So that's going to be up on your screen. Thank you so much, courtesy of our fantastic production team. So, we got here, right, Energy Blades. We got Canary Cry, Heat Vision, Reality Fields, and Magic Vortex. Both are actually kind of nice. Even this time we separated them from Corrupted Fate. And then you have Attractor, Shield, Regenerate, Battery, Lorebook. So then we have Wayne Tech Tags, which is a new piece of equipment. And of course, Lex's Corpse Wrist Guard's going to keep recommending those. But here's the thing, right? This is the kind of protection circle build of Lex. Because you have Magic Vortex and you have Reality Fields working nicely. Because you have Energy Blades, right? So with Lex, Reality Fields, you get to go inside the circle and kind of protect Lex that way. And Magic Vortex, you can go on the side. So we're going to check that out in action with this video right here. So you see the build there, and you see Lex in the middle there. So like the Reality Field circle is kind of giving that extra protection to Lex. And then you're on the side of Magic Vortex, which is smaller, so Lex can't really protect himself with it. So just puts himself on the side and gets to use Magic Vortex to slow down with Energy Blades. And with Corrupted Fate here, you can really see that double impact. And yeah, Igor Puma 66, yeah. The Lex's ultimate looks like a little dance. So that's because it doesn't when you have a flamethrower, but because you're moving him, he kind of like weaves and dodges and zigzags. So it does look like a dance because he keeps switching sides. So like you're right, there is that approach of his ultimate is really dynamic. It's one of the more dynamic ultimates for sure. So, but again, this is the Circles build, right? So what's nice here, you can complement this with Canary Cry because I can push enemies into the circle when you get Canary Cry to level 2. Heat Vision, mostly to deal with bosses, right? This is a nice mob build, but might be a bit weak when it comes to bosses. It helps you deal with projectiles. And then, you have Lorebook because it combines with Attractor. And once you get to Corrupted Fate, you can also get Boulder as well, just as a nice to have. But this build is also why I recommend the Wayne Tech Tag. So what they do is they give you a chance to have a double XP drop. And what wing tech dags are nice for is that they will increase your XP gain. So that's nice with Attractor, that's nice with Lore Book. And more importantly, Corrupted Fate builds typically need a lot of level ups. So this will help you get there. So really, that's my recommended build for Lex. At least, you know, from a having fun gameplay, you can see here the dynamic gameplay. A little bit of an all-rounder, but like a different take, I think, on Lex that I think a lot of you will enjoy trying out in the maps to come. And one of those, well, I don't actually recommend Lex for this challenge, but we'll get to that. Look, this can be a difficult challenge, even if you're quite far in, right? Because here, this gold challenge is very much about the bosses. So everything else about the map leading up to minute 5, leading up to minute 10 is all preparation. So this is a very straightforward challenge. But the two challenges we have here, right, at gold are beat the mid-boss without taking rocket damage and beat the final boss without taking collision damage. So this challenge is about avoiding damage during the bosses. So we want to focus on dodging attacks. So for me, Black Canary is the perfect candidate, right? She's fast. She combines well with shield. She can outpace the mid-boss's rocket naturally. She can make sure the flying gargoyle, when it slams into her, she can dodge it. You'll see that in the videos. And again, shield in case a mistake happens. You got the shield up. Now, that said, your Black Canary might not be leveled up enough. Now, if it's the case, you can take other superheroes, but in that case, whatever I say, you'll need wing boots on top to kind of increase the speed, because big advantage with Black Canary is her speed. So, look, this challenge very much about setting up for the bosses. So what I want you to have for the mid-boss, Heat Vision level 3, super important, because that'll help against that first mid-boss at the 5-minute mark immensely, because you're going to see it here. It helps destroy these rockets, right? The Heat Vision can like just sweep and get rid of the rockets while dealing a ton of damage to the boss. You want then shield between level 1 and 4. What's nice with shield is the shield can actually absorb the rockets. At low level, at level 1, it might be difficult to do that, but if you have it level 3 or 4, that might be easier. Then you have battery to kind of support shield, make sure that Heat Vision keeps going up. And if you don't have Black Canary, as you saw here, right, because you could see her like dodging, then wing boots will help you run away from the rockets. And the level you need on wing boots depends on your character. If you have a character that's just fine, average speed, you probably just need a level. But if you have one of the slower characters, someone like Wonder Woman or Superman especially, right, because of Heat Vision being so good, then you'll need like level 2, level 3 wing boots to get out of harm's way. But that's the mid-boss. Now, end of map boss, you kind of need the same ability loadout. That's what's nice is you can do this in one swoop. Literally, you saw the swoop there. But again, make sure you have a very high level of shield, that you have a high level of battery, and if you don't have Black Canary, as high a level of wing boots if you can. Now, as soon as this map starts, the boss will charge on you. So you need to avoid that first collision attack as that first move. So be aware that can happen. As soon as you see a move, you want to dodge it. So you can see in this video, like, it's actually really easy with Black Canary to dodge because of that increased speed. So make sure that you're aware, right? The boss will attack, will then charge up a shot. So that's your chance to deal a ton of damage. And then once that shot's kind of gone around, you want to be ready for that next collision attack, get out of the way. But honestly, this challenge, very much about setup. If you know what you need to do, it's not too difficult. And I love the ghost Black Canary behind me was great here. I love it. So again, Heat Vision, level 3, shields level 1 to 4, 5, then battery to support that loadout. And if you don't have Black Canary at a level that can complete this map too easily, I would highly recommend using a superhero, but adding winged boots. The other damage you can kind of figure out. Burnside Bridge is also kind of a fun map. There's a lot of practice as you go because the basic enemies throw rockets up to minute 5. Now, you can take that damage. It doesn't prevent you from winning the challenge or completing it, but it can be good practice, right? You're like, oh, you can see if you're fast enough to avoid the rockets. And if you're not, make sure to get wing boots. But hopefully these indications will help you clear the challenge. Just give it 1 or 2 tries. Should be easy enough. I trust you can get there. But look, we got the challenges done. We got a recommendation for Lex. And we got this recommendation for Lex because you might want to play him this week because we got something in store for you, Lex fans. So we got a brand new look, or, well, actually, it's rather classic look for Lex, which you're going to check here. Battle Suit Lex. You can check it out right here. Look, It first appeared in 1983. Now, we brought it back to life because it's a brand new look for an audience that probably was not quite alive back then. 1983 was a long time ago. But back into form, Battlesuit Lex, for your enjoyment. So for this one, you'll need 1,300 tickets. So it's a little less than what you might be used to for the Absolute skins that we released. So 1,300 tickets are needed. My event strategy that I talked to you about in a few community streams ago will be really relevant. You'll get almost to that 1,300 right away, and you'll need very little to get there. And yeah, Twisted Ghost, I'm glad that you like the look. Like, we really like one of the things with our team is we've really like seeing kind of like, you know, the depth of kind of these characters' histories, right? Like both like the new and the old. There's so much. And it's always a pleasure to be able to just showcase more of these styles. And like for me, it's a chance to like redig into the history of them and look a little more into how these came to be, what the style was. And obviously I get sneak peeks, so that's the other cool little thing. But you'll get the sneak peeks when they release. For now, though, this is going to be the event this week. So as soon as we're done with this community stream, you can get into Battlesuit Lex. Another game update, but this one's from last week. We released map 12, Park Ridge. So that's for people who are quite far in the game. But it's kind of this nice little dynamic map, right? It's full of enemies that are going to pursue you. But because there's so many kind of normal enemies, this is a fantastic map to really chain those level ups. So you can really chase increased level ups and kind of do this level as a result. So this has been a really fun level for me. I've really enjoyed trying it. You're going to notice those enemies that shoot bullets are going to come all at once at, I think, minute 3. They might take you by surprise. But again, if you're far enough in the game, you'll be able to check that out. It's been actually a map that's been a ton of fun. But if not, you know, the other maps await you. And I'm sure that you're going to progress because I'm hoping that we give you the tools. Last week's event, actually, Amazonian Bracers, was I hope helpful to a lot of you. And of course, with the Lex build I put in place for you, you could put the Amazonian Bracers over the LexCorp Risk Guards if there's a pretty high disparity to kind of level up your heroes, go further in the maps. Don't forget about last week's event and how helpful it can actually be because equipment is that valuable. Now, what I want to do is I wanted to take some time, right, and talk about progression strategy with all of you. The thing is, you in the audience are at a wide range of places. Some of you can play Park Ridge. Some of you are quite far from being able to be there. So I'm really going to look at 3 key points in progression and giving you recommendations on what to focus on at those 3 key points. So we're going to skip the very early stages. So if you're just starting with us, just enjoy the game, do what you can. It's all good. So the first status I have for you is if you have 2 or 3 of the superheroes unlocked. So this is progression strategy 1. Again, 2 or 3 superheroes unlocked. Now, any reward you get, daily, weekly events, huge impact, right? But you're likely not going to have too many resources. So because of that, you have priorities. First, hero keys, right? Because you want to aim for a superhero at level 3. A level 3 superhero is going to help you immensely take down some of the later maps. So you want to focus on hero keys for that reason. Then you want to select a superhero. You know, if you tried a few, you like one, get that main superhero to level 30. That's actually one of the best ways to do it. Kind of have 3-star level 30 superhero. You're going to be able to progress a lot more. Then those superheroes, get them level 10. So other superheroes where you're using the active abilities. So like you have Batman, but you're not playing with Batman. Get Batman to level 10, and then you get to use the Batarangs. And then Twisted Ghost and nearly missed the equipment from last week's event. Yeah. Turns out that like Radiant Plus equipment's really strong when we deliver it. So glad you hopefully got that. Then yeah, to continue, right, clear daily and weekly goals. Play and unlock the maps as you can. Just kind of go with the flow because those rewards will help you a lot. Plus you have kind of the achievements, daily logins, all of these will help you a ton. I didn't mention equipment here. That's normal. Basically, just whatever you have as equipment, use it, level it up a bit with whatever you have spare. That's nice. Remember, you can remove those resources later. That said, there is one exception. last week, right, we introduced an event where you can get equipment. Because our events are not level gated, aka even if you just started playing, you will be able to get a lot of tickets out of missions. Make sure that you get the highest level possible of the gear, right? And remember, you can combine it, because combining that equipment is going to have a tremendous impact on your ability to survive those early maps. Something like Radiant Plus, or prismatic equipment on a very early level character is going to be a huge boom. So, especially if you see an event with that level of equipment, get involved. It's your best chance at kind of shortcutting a lot of that progression early on. So I strongly focus on those missions to get that equipment on the weeks we have it. Okay, progression strategy number 2. This is if you've reached New Troy. The thing is, New Troy, for me, was kind of a difficulty barrier because you're introduced to kind of these enemies that shoot lasers out of their eyes. A lot of damage, very fast, and not that easy to deal with. So you need to increase your superhero's HP. You need to be able to dodge that in a way that's different. So you'll need to level up significantly to progress to the next maps on your list. So if you're here at this point, again, focus on those events and those goals because the rewards are still quite valuable for you, pretty important. Go back to like maps 1 to 4. For example, Burnside Bridge Gold Challenge, right? Because the rewards from challenges are pretty good. At this point, you will be strong enough to face those gold challenges from map 2, 3, and 4, probably. So go back, clear some of those older gold challenges, get those rewards into your arsenal. Make sure that you're saving up your gems. So there's a slight discount if you buy 10 chests at once. So do save up the gems for that. One important part, I would recommend to get hero keys if you need a hero to hit 4-star. And if you already have a 4-star superhero you're using, then I would get kind of the equipment chests. Essentially, that way you kind of balance it out. Of course, this point, this is where equipment is going to matter. You need to rotate your equipment, right? You get higher rarity equipment. Make sure that you're merging the equipment, dismantling the old equipment, getting back your resources, re-putting those resources into the new equipment, and using higher rarity equipment you obtain, because that's going to have a huge difference and impact. And of course, leveling up evenly your equipment because those first level ups are cheaper and the benefits are kind of per level. So benefit by leveling up, say, all your equipment to level 10, level 15, level 20. Progression strategy free. So this is for all of you who have reached the Halls of Fate, which I think is the next difficulty spike in my view, because Halls of Fate, and especially Chain Memorial Bridge, are really difficult barriers. And they have very specific battles in them that will need your superheroes to be charged up. So at this point, get your superhero to level 80. So that means a 4-star promoted superhero, because level 80 is when you unlock kind of the active ability's last damage boost. And that extra ability that comes with it, depending on your main superhero, can be really vital. So you want a main superhero at level 80, then at this point, get the other superheroes to level 30, especially the ones with active abilities you use. So like, for example, all my main superheroes that I use, obviously I'm a little further, are level 80. And then the secondary ones are level 30 because I don't have the resources to necessarily balance them all up to level 80. So like what I do, my mains are 80 and the ones that are kind of secondary are level 30 and I'm leveling them up slowly. You want all kind of legendary equipment at this point or better. Because that'll give you a boost that you need. Now, obviously, if you have anything that's Radiant or you have a 5-star hero, that will help immensely progress past these maps. So if you're very close, I would focus on that, your goal. And then finally, again, complete those early challenges in the previous maps, because all the rewards you get will help you have more tools in your arsenal, better superheroes, better equipment. So look, I hope that this guidance on progression has been useful to you, no matter where you are at in the game. And I wish you good luck this week in the event as well to get Lex's battle suit up and running. Now, before we close down this stream, I want to always give you the chance to showcase your gameplay with the rest of the audience and community. So if you have a challenge you're proud of completing, just send us a screenshot. Burnside Bridge and Gold is obviously one of them, but maybe you've managed Park Bridge and Gold. Maybe you're that far ahead. Show me. Now, you can mention us on these social platforms. Get a screenshot. We'll shout you out in the next stream. So the next stream as well, Wednesday, April 9th. You get those platforms, Instagram, Facebook, X, and Blue Sky. get that screenshot to us with your proudest in-game achievement. We'd be delighted to showcase you. Now, I really want to thank you all for being here. I had a truly delightful time learning about the game today. I say I had a delightful time learning about the game today. I hope you had a delightful time learning about the game today, that you learned about progression, that you got through. I did love your reactions as well with the Black Canary stickers, which are actually truly fantastic. So I'd love to see those in general. But I hope you had a good time as well throwing those Black Canary stickers with the rest of the audience as well. There we go. She's nice and happy. I love it. So that's going to do it for us for this DC Heroes United community stream. Look, as usual, remember, the story and the game will evolve in the weeks to come. So we're very much looking forward to seeing what you will decide in the coming days. Because the story needs one last ingredient to be fully written: you. Next stream, Wednesday, April 9th, noon Pacific. As usual, we will cover and uncover brand new updates to Lex's Every Hero project and more. We want to make sure that you have a fantastic time playing the game, enjoying the company of other members of the audience, get those tips and tricks to make you progress further. As stands, I look very much forward to seeing you in 2 weeks' time, noon Pacific, Wednesday, April 9th. And as always, wherever you are across the world, I wish you a fantastic morning, afternoon, evening, or night. Do take care.